We find ourselves back at that small Bunuk settlement, and it seems like no one really cares all that much that we were climbing around on the Thunderjaw, who still appears to be dead. I would assume that it is kind of beyond all doubt that it is dead. But we are still a little bit of a trek away from the Grave Horde, so we're going to be spending a decent amount of time getting there. And though I didn't particularly pick nighttime as when we arrive there, it's going to make the lead up to it look pretty damn cool. Of course, as usual, on the way over, we have to alert every single machine that we possibly can. And just hope that if we keep running, they won't follow. It seems like just about every machine type possible is alert and angry at us.
Here we go again.
Oh no, these chargers are kind of in the way, and... okay, I guess we're going this way. Just gotta... Oh, no, my broadhead's been taken down, and I'm just being beaten. So, ignoring that happened, we are just gonna get the hell out of here. But straight ahead and up the mountain is the Grave Horde, and you can see in the light and the fog, it looks pretty cool. And pretty spooky, actually. There are a couple of enemies that are going to meet us there, so I want to get off and take care of some of these machines before we get up there, and then we're facing both Eclipse and Mad machines. So that Glinthawk was supposed to fall over and didn't, but something really weird happens here that I've never seen before. Apparently, a roving gang of regular machines has gone after some of the corrupted machines that are up this mountainside. And it looks like they're not going to be leaving my broadhead alone, and vice versa. And with a broadhead that has like about a third of his health, I think we should help out. Yeah, because this is not looking good for our friend. So I think that Scrapper just completely ran off, which is pretty unusual for a Scrapper. But we have other enemies to take care of. So it looks like that cultist down there is heading over towards the Glinthawk. But I see no reason not to help out. And I'm just gonna take care of this guy as a bit of insurance.
Stay down.
And since there's no way I'm getting down there before the Glinthawk gets back up. With some unnecessary help from our Eclipse buddies, maybe? Oh no, definitely not buddies.
Stay bright! Stay alert! Ah! Yeah.
So now that the way is clear, I think this lead up right here is... it's one of the best in the game if you get it timed right.
The Grave Horde. In the shadow of a metal devil. Great.
Yeah, pretty much this whole thing is one machine. A metal devil. So up there, those blue lights, that's actually to the Frozen Wilds DLC. And if you come up here earlier than the story allows, this whole Grave Horde entrance is completely blocked off.
They're inside too.
So it looks like we have a couple of Eclipse and one Watcher. If I can get that canister to explode, that'll make this much easier.
Calm, calm.
And the Watcher never even noticed what happened. Also notice we were taking cover behind a dead Corruptor.
Time to take a look around the room.
So we're here for some answers about Project Zero Dawn, but we're about to be introduced to something a little different. There are a lot of bodies that have been here for a very long time.
Looks like quite an enduring victory we put our foot in today.
Contact in 30 seconds.
Hey, think that's enough time for Sobek to finish Zero Dawn?
If this is really it, I gotta say, it's been an honor to serve beside these tanks.
Here it comes.
Grease for contact!
A battle. Frozen in ice and time.
Say it again, Lieutenant.
I got some. Titan is through the defenses. Still on approach.
A live one, and he's pissed.
We've got no mobility in here. It'll punch right through us.
We hold the hedge at all costs, then push back out.
Are you getting this, Silence? Silence?
It appears these people were all soldiers, fighting against some pretty nasty machines.
Titan inbound, same play as Akron. Base defense locks it down. We engage, sever the limbs, blast out the fountains.
Another day in the life. Reconcile, really close. Anti-MOB on point. Hoorah!
Silence, you getting this?
What is it?
All these soldiers. They died here.
People die all the time. I'll keep going and find something interesting.
Seems Silence doesn't have much of an interest in any of this. Either he's already aware of whatever happened here, or he just doesn't care. But it looks like this base was home to something called Operation Enduring Victory.
Operation Enduring Victory. What did that mean? Whatever it was, doesn't seem to have turned out very well.
So yeah, we're a little light on the details. Hopefully we can figure out a little bit more about that and Project Zero Dawn. But first, an Easter egg. If you come over here, there's an item with a peculiar logo. And if you're familiar with a certain game development studio, that might be very familiar. So, for those of you not aware, that is the logo for Kojima Productions. If you followed Kojima's Twitter while this game was being made, he made several visits to Guerrilla Games.
Must have been where the soldiers slept. Like the lodge in Mother's Heart, I guess.
Log. Third Battle of California Marine. The swarm came in from the Pacific, and I don't know if it was the local Minutemen or the crazy 15th, but they'd set the garbage patch alight. Man, the sea was on fire. That stuff was... The first wave of bots came in covered in burning sludge. They bought us an hour or two of slaughtering them on the beaches before the swarm recalculated. We pulled them inland, back through the Kalmar sprawl. Dropped buildings on them, EMP'd the grid. Standard operating procedure. The last time I was in California, I was 5, 6? The light was like that vintage social net filter that was everywhere in the 40s. Log. First battle of the Eastern Seaboard Wall. Had a long run up to it. This was before Kalmar, and projections were a lot worse for the East. For 3 weeks, we kept getting scrambled out to some coastal burg to train Minutemen. It was always raining on account of Europe already being torched. Block after block of prefab barracks. They were still printing barracks right up until the hour the main force hit. The Minutemen? We ran combat drills with them in the streets where they'd lived, trying to pretend they might live to die somewhere else if they paid attention. Nothing worse than the ones who actually bought into it. Hopeful, pestering us with questions about Zero Dawn like we know something they don't. I swear, the more we do this, the more like the bots we are. Except they learn from every fight. And us? I'm not so sure.
It seems that there were volunteers of sorts helping out with the army to defeat these machines, but in the end, probably didn't help all that much.
What was this place?
Recalls, I've been instructed to remind you of Article 115 of base policy regarding unauthorized use of processor cycles. Specifically 115C. Any holographic simulation not directly related to operational training or efficiency. Consider yourself reminded, and enjoy your gaming.
Take note of these next audio logs. They're gonna come up a little bit later.
Thanks for the mails, you. Time goes fast on active duty. 4 months with the wrecking recalls, I don't know, 20 drops. In and out of the West Coast, fighting with these civilian enlistees, scrappy guys and gals. Their training is basically, here's a DEW, when you see a bot, hit it. But somehow it's all coming together. Between us and the 6th MRB, we took down a horse at Lithium Beach. Pulled out before its buddies arrived, but to see a big one go down. I hope you made the news, honey. Showed everyone we're gonna have a shot at turning this around. We just need to give Project Zero Dawn the time it needs, the everything will be the way it used to be. I know it's been days, honey. I'm so sorry. Deployments are getting real long and tougher every time. The swarm's getting better at predicting us. Less of us now. And we have to put in 10 times the work for everyone gone. Like a family business on hard times, only... this isn't my family. It's not with you. I still try to see you. The life we had. In the eyes of the people out there. I remember when they were glad to see us. When they still had hope. It all seems to be slipping away. I don't even recognize the places we're defending. The only thing I know I'm still fighting for is... you. For Zero Dawn to turn this around? Or whatever the hell that is.
The furnishings were metal. How'd they ever get comfortable? It was the metal world. Guess they were used to it.
How do you defeat an army of machines that operates autonomously, that consumes biomass to reproduce, and can learn from a fight more than you could ever from an entire war?
Just one bed. Maybe their war chief's room.
Well, whatever's left of these barracks has had about a millennium to decay, so there's not much recognizable furniture left.
Red light. Guess that means no power. These wires must run to the power source.
Well, we have ourselves a locked door and a puzzle that we have not seen in a very long time. In order to get that door open, we need to configure the locks.
I haven't seen one of these since I was a little kid. It must be some kind of code. Maybe I should try scanning objects in this area. Useful information.
This first sequence is pretty understandable. Just match the positions that we were shown.
Three power lines, resources. That makes one.
And we can already see the next one. Looking for a safer way down, though. And right below us is the third. This one is at least a little bit trickier.
Hey, y'all wanted to know how I remember the geotherm system reboot? Goes like this. Bird flies north in summer, east in spring, west in fall, and south in winter. Didn't expect to hear nature poetry from the lips of Mike the GT Tech now, did you? As usual, I defy expectations.
So, pretty simply, all we have to do is match the cardinal directions on a compass with the same order that our poet gave us.
That's two. One more.
Ooh, not going that way. The bottom of this hole is not visible, so you can pretty much imagine how that would end. So this one is still as easy, it just doesn't show the red line that the other one did. It's still the same difficulty.
Okay, that did it. Sounds like that did it.
And that's all three. Now let's go open up that door.
Tools being used. More voices. More clips. Must be another way in.
Well, it seems the power cell for this old Metal World ruin is pretty obvious.
A power cell, like the ones I found before. I'm gonna have to figure this out.
We still don't have nearly enough, though. We'll try the same strategy as before. Although the strategy may have already failed. Now we could stealth our way through this section, even though most people are at least somewhat alerted to us by now. But it's just going to be a lot more fun if we kind of brute force this whole thing. Priority is going to be on that scrapper, though. And it looks like that heavy is coming right for us. So if we can take him down and take his weapon, this whole section just gets that much easier.
It's them, all right. They're not looking for answers, just weapons.
Seems this guy's gonna be a little bit too hard to hit. Or not. But that's all of them. There isn't anything story-wise that we need to discover in this room, so once I loot everything, we're gonna move on. So by now you've probably figured out at least the general gist of what Enduring Victory is. It's pretty much in the name. So last time we learned that Faro Solutions had switched from creating bots to creating old man technology, and it's pretty obvious now what that was for. It seems that they were trying to fight the bots, but knew that it might not work out.
Got too much already.
There is at least a little bit more to the whole operation, but unfortunately, we're not really going to find out that much about it. At least not yet. We'll find out even less if I keep messing up jumps like this. This next room isn't going to shed any light on what Operation Enduring Victory is. It is going to shed some light on what exactly some people were doing. In fact, it may cast a bit more shadow over what the whole thing was supposed to be.
Ames, I know I mail you too much. I'm just proud of what you're doing. Everyone back home is. We got moved inland 10 kilometers, just as a precaution, they say. School's still in session, so I get to keep my eye on Andres and Reggie. We never know where or when you're fighting, but when the VTOLs go over, all the kids run out and wave. I believe in you. I know nothing's ever gonna be the same, but I believe in you. I believe in us.
Now, if you remember those audio logs from before...
Thanks for the mails, you. Time goes fast on active duty. 4 months with the wreck and recalls, fighting with these civilian enlistees, scrappy guys and gals. That's all coming together. Between us and the 6th MRB, we took down a horse. I hope we made the news, honey. Showed everyone we're turning this around. We just need to give Project Zero Dawn the time it needs.
That wasn't what the original audio log sounded like.
Ames, I don't even know if you're alive anymore. The mails I get from you, they say they're from you, but they don't sound... They sound recycled. Phrases put together, and you don't say anything about the news I pass on. The containment zone, the rebreathers, the rioting, One Earth. What happened in the Dallas bubble, Ames, that wasn't the robots. They won't even give me a straight answer when I demand to know if you're still alive. They just say if your messages keep coming, then You're still operational. It's not fair, Ames. It's not fair that you won't be with me when the lights go out. I love you.
That's so sad.
Status report. 9th Mechanized Response Brigade, Commanding Officer Lieutenant Fiona Morell. Unit morale continues to be adversely impacted by outbound engagements against the Pharaoh Plague, especially when said engagements occur in sectors where civilian guard enlistees have been heavily engaged. The scope and nature of fatalities suffered by civilian guard and unarmed civilians in these sectors defy description. And witnessing it is generating a pervasive sense of hopelessness in the unit. Accordingly, I once again request that deployments of the 9th MRB be temporarily refocused on facilities that are mission critical to Project Zero Dawn. And once again, I request an immediate update on the status of Project Zero Dawn's timeline.
I know it's been days, honey. I'm so sorry. Deployments are getting real long. We have to put in the work for everyone. Like a family business. I still see you in the eyes of the people out there. They were glad to see us. They still had hope. I'm still fighting for you.
It seems that audio logs are being cut up and edited to take out anything negative before being given to civilians. And even members of the military can't find out what is going on. This is more than just a PR move. This has to be something more substantial, right? It's an extinction event. What could be more important?
What is this?
That? It's a map.
A map of what?
Our world. The planet Earth, Aloy. It's not flat like you thought.
Why would I think that? During eclipses, the shadow cast on the moon is curved. So our world is a globe. And it looks like this, from a distance.
We'll discuss this another time. Back to the matter at hand.
The Faro robots were spreading across the world, eating everything up. Somehow, Elizabeth stopped them before it was too late. But how?
Although that is a pretty open and shut case on debunking Flat Earth, even from a less civilized civilization about 1,000 years in the future, I have a feeling a lot of Flat Earthers wouldn't really respect that anyway.
I'd have to leave something else behind.
This hallway, however, has maybe a worrying number of supplies. Almost as if something big is coming up. Now remember last time we fought the Eclipse, they had a Deathbringer, but that Deathbringer was pretty immobile. This time, however,
the Eclipse. Tampering with the Metal Devil. They don't think they can wake it, do they?
Watch out!
Another Kobish. And this one can move.
yay, it has working legs. That's not terrifying. It's also got a couple of friends, so I want to take those out as quickly as possible because the fewer distractions, the better. Now you might be thinking, well, why don't you just stay up here and hide, picking everyone off one by one? That'll work up to a point, but once the Deathbringer knows you're up here, it will destroy this catwalk. So I'm only going to be taking care of the ones that I'm comfortable taking care of, not necessarily the ones walking alongside the Deathbringer. So I'm only going to be able to stealth this for so long. Once that Deathbringer has its sights on me, it will destroy pretty much every piece of cover you can find. So same strategy as always. Fighting this Deathbringer is going to be mostly the same as last time, except I'm going to be on the move a hell of a lot more. You can see its weak points are now along its legs, so if you hit just one of them, you'll stun it. Now that all of its Eclipse buddies are taken care of, we can at least focus directly on the Deathbringer. My strategy is mostly shoot the weak points and panic a lot while I try to dodge machine gun fire and miniature rockets. I can only trust this cover for so long, so I'm not going to be ducking behind it for any extended period of time. This is me mostly checking to see if you can do a critical strike while it's dazed, and it doesn't appear to let me. Really, so long as you're on the move, you won't be hit nearly as much, but bring enough healing just in case. I'm not sure if any of the weak points do more damage than any of the others, but the big one in the middle of its head is the easiest to hit.
I did it. So the soldiers long ago, they had to fight hundreds of those all at once?
Yeah, even with proper guns, I don't think the military could have lasted very long against these things. But we're not out of here just yet. We came for some sort of answers, and we're not leaving until we get some.
Thank you, Dr. Sobek. You can take a seat.
What? You're going to thank her after what she just said?
Dr. Sobek has made the situation very clear, General, and given us an option. We should all be thanking her.
Oh, it's just... I mean, my God.
Maybe take this discussion offline.
There's not going to be any discussion. You saw the numbers. Now, Pharaoh, he'll foot the bill, but his money can't buy the time necessary to complete Zero Dawn. That can only be paid for in blood.
Oh, come on. If we upgrade our fleet, crack the code somehow...
Were you not listening? Robots can't do the fighting for you this time. When it comes to hacking, this rogue swarm is an apex predator. Anything automated you throw at it, they will hijack and take over.
But this... We'd be throwing civilians into a meat grinder.
Commanders, the enemy we're facing self-replicates faster than we can kill it. And it eats biomass as fuel. Zero Dawn is all we've got.
So we put a railgun in the hand of every civilian strong enough to carry one, show them where the trigger is, and point them to the front? How the hell do we sell that?
By giving them something to fight for. Zero Dawn. The top-secret super-weapons program that will save us. So long as humanity holds off the swarm long enough for Dr. Sobek and her team to finish it. The file I'm sending contains the war plan for Operation Enduring Victory.
War plan? This is a war crime.
It may be ugly, but it's something. Consider the alternative. Dr. Sobek, I've secured use of a decommissioned orbital launch base outside Bryce, Utah as the Zero Dawn staging area. Plenty of space there. When can you get started?
I've already mailed you a list of Alpha and Beta candidates. Most are foreign nationals or subjects of corporate holdings, so extracting them...
Leave that to me. You'll get your dream team. Count on it.
Then I'll be off. Orbital launch base. What is that? What did these people do? What did Elizabeth do?
So, we've learned about the existence of Operation Enduring Victory, but we still don't know what Zero Dawn is.
Dr. Sobek, as projected, the Wichita salient has collapsed. 5 Horus-class Titans have broken through. We predict contact in 34 hours.
Everything is in position, General. It took a few shortcuts to pull everything together, but Zero Dawn is functionally complete. Good to go.
That enduring victory served its purpose after all.
Yes, if we'd had even one day less.
I've sent you an encoded file, Doctor. Please do me the favor of archiving it.
I'll see what I can do. What is it?
A brief statement. An allocution of crimes, I guess you'd call it.
To what are you admitting guilt?
Over the past 16 months, Doctor, I have presided over the greatest wholesale slaughter of military personnel and civilians in the history of... history. Genghis Khan, Hitler, Stalin, Sorabella. Add them all together. They don't even come close.
You didn't do the killing, General.
No, not directly. But I didn't wind up the highest-ranked military commander in the United States by resisting the automation of the armed forces. Even before the swarm, Doctor, I was helping death along. So, instead of letting what I've done sink into the murk, forgotten, I sent a file with all the details. Let posterity judge my actions with clear vision.
I'll do as you ask, General. But you should consider that were it not for your actions, our actions, there wouldn't be any posterity to judge us.
Perhaps. Dr. Sobek,
At ease, General. And goodbye.
hell of a thing.
So it sounds like Operation Enduring Victory worked. It secured Zero Dawn, but damn. We're leaving here with really no new answers and a bunch more questions.
Glad to be rid of that place. Now I just need to find the orbital launch base they talked about.
I've checked my data and located the base. That's the good news.
And the bad?
It's directly underneath the Citadel. The palace at Sunfall.
The capital of the Shadow Carja. Not exactly convenient.
The palace is crawling with Eclipse agents. Many in positions of authority, all of them wearing focuses. The moment they see you, Hades will too. He'll issue another kill order, and this time, the entire Shadow Carja military will be after you.
So, disable their focuses. You've done it before.
It's not that simple. Too many focuses in one place, each of them communicating with each other and back to Hades, a whole network of them.
Network? What's that?
Imagine a vast, invisible web stretched across the land from end to end, connecting focuses together, allowing them to communicate over vast distances instantaneously.
All right, so is there some way to cut the web down?
Crash the network. Audacious. Yes, there is a way. A weak point in the network.
Point the way.
I'll send the location data to your focus. Head there, and I'll be in touch when you're close with more directions.
What was Zero Dawn? What sort of super weapon did Elizabeth make? She stopped the machines, but not before the world she knew, her civilization, ended. Let's hope it won't come to that again. Now, how am I gonna get down from here? Oh, this should be quite the ride. I'd do that again, if it weren't so much work to get back up there.
Next time, we're headed straight to the belly of the beast to confront Hades and crash their network. That is still one hell of a machine. See you next time.